You need to ensure that when you go into a conversation, that your body language and your posture is setting up the tone of your voice and the other person to receive the message that you want to get across. Without this, your words mean almost nothing. When it comes to speech, much more of what is taken in is about our tone and body language and not so much the words that we're saying, which is why it's so important to ensure that our body is telling the story that we want the other person to be hearing. Today, I'm going to give you the 3 steps that you need to ensure that your body is able to carry the message that you want to send. Have you ever seen somebody that's trying to sell you something and they look like they don't want to be there? Their tone of voice is off, their body language is off. You can tell that they are miserable, that they wouldn't even buy what they're selling. This is why body language and tone are so important. And if you're looking for information on how to ensure that your tone is correct, we will talk about it a bit during this video, but I did make another video that I'm going to link at the end of this. For a second, I want you just to sit back and think about somebody that came up to you and was angry. What did their body language look like? Now, somebody that was bored, what's their body language? Somebody that's sad? Someone that's upset? Someone that's jealous? Our bodies tell so much more about how we are feeling than the words that we say. And this is where you can tell a good actor from a bad actor, is can their body and their tone fully emulate that emotion?
Girl like this. Shut up! You shut up! Shut up!
And this is why they often pull on stories from their past so that they can really pull on the true emotion as opposed to just pretending. It's much more powerful to be experiencing an emotion that you're trying to convey versus faking it. So the first step is to do some pre-work. This doesn't need to take a lot of time, but it will make a world of difference. Think to yourself, when I have X conversation, the message that I want to convey is fill in the blank. Now, sit down and think to yourself, if somebody was to come in and have that conversation with you and convey that, how would they stand? How would their posture be? Would they be sitting? Would they be standing? Would they be open? Would they be closed? Would they be smiling, frowning, eyebrows up, eyebrows down? Go through head to toe what would be the best way for you to be able to take that information in. If you wanted to come in as assertive, charging at somebody and putting your hands out and shaking them is probably not going to create an environment for dialogue. You need to figure out what you want the end result of your conversation to be so that you can align your body to that. Before you enter into the conversation, take a second to ensure that you are in the posture that you want to be before you walk into the room. Once you've walked into the room, that person has already made a snap judgment about you and how you are appearing in that moment. So take a minute to embody that emotion and to move your body in a way that you need in order to have your brain follow how you're feeling. Our body tends to dictate how our mind is. It's so important to ensure that we are in check with what our body is doing as a cue for our brain to follow. If we are acting scared, our brain is going to release different chemicals. If our body is looking upset, it's going to release other chemicals. And it will actually shut down parts of our brain that we want to work during that conversation. So if you go in wanting to have a really important and engaging dialogue, but you are in an angry stance and your face is angry and your body is tight and angry and you feel like you're going to be going in for a fight, part of your brain is already starting to shut down before you walk through the door. So take a minute and change up your posture before you enter the room. Hi, I'm Crystal with Korero Solutions, a channel dedicated to helping you become the leader that you deserve. The second step to help change this is to be aware and cognizant of what is happening during the conversation. Check in with your body, even if you need to write it down on a sheet of paper during the conversation. And go and do a mental check to ensure, am I starting to close down? Am I starting to open up? By doing those checks in the moment, you're going to be more successful than just doing a check-in before and a check-in after. Our brains learn really well when we are able to make adjustments in the moment, when it's live time. So take the time and set yourself up for success in order to check in with yourself and your body. In addition to this, and I know it's asking a lot, and these are skills that you are going to stack upon each other. This isn't something that, if you're unfamiliar, it's go in guns a-blazing, you're gonna fix everything. I want you to just try to get a little bit better with every interaction that you have, because eventually people are gonna start to notice a difference. But I don't want you to give up on this. So don't go in trying to change everything at once and trying to be perfect out of the gate, because you're gonna be overwhelmed, you're gonna be confused, and you're going to give up, which is the worst thing that you can do when you're trying to improve. I want you to try to just get a little bit better each time. So just pick one of these skills and start to work on that. I want you to get uncomfortable, but not so much that you want to give up. Now you're going to start to look at other people's body language. Once you are aware of your own, start looking at others. Because as you gain more awareness into how your shoulders move, how your face moves, how the rest of your body is moving and tensing and relaxing during these conversations, you're going to be able to start picking it up in others. So go in and start looking at them. And if you're finding that you're trying to be inclusive and you want to engage them, yet they're sitting back, their arms are crossed, their legs are crossed, they're turning away from you, they have a frown on their face, whatever it is, if it is not what you are looking to get from them, it's your time to check in and start making that shift with yourself and calling out your own behavior. You can even do this in the room. I see that you are sitting back and it looks to me like you're disengaging. And they might say, yeah, I am. And they might say, no, I'm actually quite interested. So feel free to check in with them, because sometimes people's body language, they've learned it in a different way than we have. So check in to ensure that they are still engaged and that your message is being sent and received in the way that you want it to. If you want some fast feedback during a conversation, ask somebody how they feel the conversation is going. If you want somebody engaged, if you want somebody inspired, or you want to intimidate someone, you can check in and say, how do you feel this conversation's going so far? And they'll say, yeah, like I feel this is going really good, or I feel it's going horribly. I've ignored everything that you said. Check in with them, because that way you can also make those tweaks and minor adjustments during the conversation. Now, I've said this part in the video about how to change your tone in conversation, but I think that it is worth repeating. And if you're hearing it for the first time, please take note, because this is a very simple change, but it can have huge dramatic impacts. If you want somebody impacted by what you're saying and you want to engage them in a positive manner, keynote here is in a positive manner, smile while you are talking. Even from infants, when we see somebody smile, you immediately engage. This is a human instinct that when we see a smiling face, we immediately are drawn towards the other person. So if you want to engage, you want to inspire, you want to get people on board, you're going to have to smile. There are a few things harder than having to listen to somebody who says they're excited and speaks with a very exhausted face. I remember reading a study about people that had underwent Botox injections and how it changed the muscles within their face, and then it impacted how people were interacting with them. Because based upon their inability to move certain muscles, they were not able to engage with people the same way. And because those individuals were not able to move those muscles, their brain was not able to register their emotions in the same way that other people's were. And I found this fascinating.
Wow.
Because when I talk about your brain follows your body, this is a prime example of that. By just having the inability to move certain muscles in our face, our brain is actually changing the chemicals that it's putting out. This really emphasizes the importance of making sure that your brain and your body are matching by first doing your body and then doing your brain, because your tone of voice will then follow behind all of that. It can be extremely important to hear other people's stories and hear their perspectives. So please let me know in the comments below when you've had an experience of somebody's body language not matching what the message is that they're trying to convey. So our last step is checking in at the end. This is about getting the feedback that you need. And no matter what you do and no matter what debriefs you do, having that outside perspective will really help. Now, there are many options that you are able to take advantage of within this, and typically feedback is free. So go and find the people that you either need feedback from the most, so those people that you have a high impact on and they can heavily impact you, or if you really want to step it up and push your limits and be comfortable in being uncomfortable, go and ask the people that you do not get along with. Yes, your biggest asset and the fastest way that you are going to be able to learn and improve is by speaking to the people that don't like what you're doing now. Because chances are your body and the way that you're presenting things is going to be coming across differently to them than it would to somebody that you do get along with. Now, this is 100% their perception. But if you want to change the way that you're coming across, you need to be in tune with the way that you are coming across. And I get it, it's going to be hard, and that is okay, and you might not want to take that step at first, but I would challenge you to at least plan to be doing this as part of your growing process. If you've applied any of these techniques or are looking to, I'd encourage you to please hit that notification bell and consider subscribing so that you can get more of our tips and tools to help you become a better leader. It's extremely important that you also make sure that your tone is in line with your body language and your words. I've made a video for that right over here. Go and check it out. Remember to do something today that will change your tomorrow. Until next time.